Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel to some of you. Welcome to my channel if you're new around here. Know it's been quite a while since I've posted, but as I've mentioned in other videos, this is something that I've always just had this itch to do. Though I am an accountant by trade, I do love creating. So not to go off too far on a tangent here, but this is something that I would like to continue focusing and putting my effort into. And then on top of that, the accounting videos that I did a few months ago have done not like nothing to write home about by any means, but they have picked up traction, and there also are people on there commenting asking for more content. So here we go. Let's go ahead and talk more accounting. And chances are, if you clicked on this video today, you are probably either about to start an internship at a Big Four, or other big public accounting firm, or maybe not even big, maybe it's a small local or a regional firm, whatever. And chances are, I have a feeling more audit interns are going to be watching this video as opposed to you tax folks, although nothing against tax at all. This is obviously, I work in audit, I interned in audit, so audit is what I know. With that being said, I do think that some of the general concepts in terms of like soft skill items and more bigger picture broad things, if you will, things, very, very complex words around here, can probably relate to tax internships as well as honestly any internship, even beyond accounting at Big Four, because I mean, half of it is showing up to work every day, putting in your best effort, having a good attitude, right? I mean, if you're not going to do that at your job, you're probably not going to be successful anywhere, no matter what you're doing. Okay, so let's go ahead and get right into it. As I mentioned, chances are you're probably either about to start an internship, maybe you're just getting back from training, maybe you don't know what to expect, maybe you hope to intern in the future, and you want to work in busy season. So that's what this video is going to be about. It's going to be what to expect as a Big Four or other big accounting, public accounting firm, busy season intern. Yeah, so let's go ahead and get right into it. Sorry, excuse me. So first and foremost, before we get into the heavy hitting serious stuff, I have to point this out because it absolutely is necessary, not only to your success as an intern, but also to how you perceive the experience as a whole. And that is to, and I know this is difficult, I'm not saying it's easy by any means, but you have to relax. You have to go ahead and be yourself, because if you go in there with these super rigid ideas of what you're expected to be and what needs to be done and certain expectations put on yourself, number one, you're not going to have a good time. Number two, you're probably not going to perform the way they want you to perform either, because you were hired as an intern for a reason. They liked you. They liked the person that they got to know throughout the recruiting process, throughout the interviews, and that's who they ultimately want to see working alongside them as an intern. And then on top of that, if you can just be relaxed and have a good attitude, really come in with a good mental headspace each and every day, I promise you it's just going to make the overall experience 10 times more enjoyable, as well as your performance is going to be much better than if you put these ridiculous overbearing expectations on yourself. So just a little bit of word of advice before we go ahead and get into the heavy stuff. It's not really that heavy. I mean, it's no offense, we're talking about interns here. You're not signing the audit opinion, you're not testing goodwill or anything like that. But I think it needed to be said because I do really believe that is an important aspect of an internship, especially during busy season, if you want to stand out and be successful. Okay, so now getting into the real meat and potatoes of this conversation, which is what can you expect as a busy season intern? And honestly, I have written down 4 things here, and I really think, honestly, none of this is probably going to be super groundbreaking. You've probably heard this before, but I guess if you're watching this video, you probably are like me and you like just hearing the same things over and over again from different people. Everyone has different perspectives, and sometimes it just helps to hear these things from someone who has been there in the shoes that you're about to step in. So I completely get that. But as I mentioned before, we are talking about intern stuff here, so it's not like nothing. I'm not going to give you any groundbreaking secrets or like anything completely earth-shattering that's going to completely scare you or motivate you going into your internship. I'm really just going to break it down as to how it is. So first, of course, if this is busy season, chances are you will likely be dealing with confirmations, whether it be cash, receivables, or whatever else it might be. Why are you going to be dealing with confirmations? Well, because no one enjoys doing them. They are tedious, especially when you're on a job that has hundreds, maybe even thousands of confirmations that need to be sent out. It involves a lot of administrative, remedial, repetitive groundwork. You're constantly following up with the confirming parties. You're making sure all the addresses and contact information is correct, et cetera, et cetera. And something I will say too, though, is not to get too down about the confirmation process. Just because no one likes to do it doesn't mean that it's not very important. This is an exceptionally important audit procedure, and your team will get serious value out of you doing a good job as it relates to tracking the status of the confirmations, following up with confirming parties that have yet to respond to make sure you get the process over with as soon as possible. Because I can tell you there's nothing worse than you're 2 or 3 days away from filing as an engagement team and there's still a confirmation hanging around out there that you just can't get a hold of, and all of a sudden at the last minute, instead of going through alternative procedures, which we're not going to touch on in this video because that's a whole other concept as it is. We'll stick to the intern aspect of it. It's stressful, it's a lot, but you are really providing value. So make sure that when you are working on the confirmations, that you have a system, or you develop a system to stay organized. You talk with more senior members of your team to find out like the nuances of the job, of maybe certain confirming parties that are always a little bit hard to get a hold of, best practices, that sort of thing. Cool? Okay, so confirmations number 1. Number 2, the next thing that I actually do still enjoy doing this. Maybe this is because this is I'm a second year associate, so I'm going into my second busy season as a full-time associate as we speak. Actually, this is my last day of winter vacation, and busy season literally starts on Monday, but that's not really too relevant to this video. But so second full busy season as an associate coming up, and then I've also interned during the busy season as well. So I guess I haven't done too many, although I do the quarters as well. Let's get right to it. It's the tie-out. And a lot of people hate doing the tie-outs. It's time consuming, it's tedious. You're not just tying out the face of the financials, that's easy. Obviously, you're tying that to the trial balance as well as the testing you performed. But what really gets tedious is tying out the footnotes and all the disclosures. So anything that's material and significant throughout the financial statements. You might even tie out some things in management's discussion and analysis. And really, again, similar to confirmations, it's just an organization and time management exercise. And this one differs a little bit in that you may have to coordinate more so with your actual engagement team as opposed to outside parties like you would with a confirmation, because chances are when you're working on the tie-out, maybe not everyone's going to be done with their testing of certain areas as it relates to certain footnotes yet. So you're going to have to coordinate with people, figure out what you can and can't get done, because I can tell you what you don't want to do, and that is saving everything for the last minute and then trying to tie out all the financial statements at once in one day or one sitting. You're going to be miserable, you're going to make mistakes. So my biggest piece of advice with this would be to get ahead of the game. Again, find out what's expected of you from the senior members of the team. Ask them about, what certain tick marks they like, certain explanations. Do they like a certain color for their tie-outs? We always do it in red. I feel like that's probably pretty standard across the firm, no matter where you are. But yeah, it's not rocket science. It's not something that's overly complex. It's just time consuming. And ultimately, honestly, the good thing about it is you're going to, even though it's at a very high and surface level, you're going to get exposure to basically the whole business, right? Because you're going to have to go through all the face of the statements. You're going to have to go through balance sheet, income statement, cash flows, statement of equity, etc. And then you're also going to have to take a deep dive into the footnotes. And you have to actually read the footnotes to make sure you're actually tying out all the numbers in there. So it really will give you a pretty cool understanding of the business that you're auditing, if you think that's cool. Of course, you might not, which is fine as well. If you're just here for the money, you are probably not alone. You're definitely not alone. So, number 2, tie-out. So first we have confirmations. 2, we have tie-outs. Number 3, and this is probably, I don't know, this depends how your experience, or as they say, your mileage will vary. This really will depend on your engagement team and who you're working with as to how enjoyable this will or will not be. I've never been on a team where the person ordering dinners, yes, that's what we're talking about now. We're talking about ordering dinners as well as snacks, because during busy season, you spend a lot of time at work. Chances are you're going to be eating dinner at the office with your team most days of the week. So it is a very important job to coordinate making sure the snack station room is sufficiently filled for the engagement team with everyone's preferences. very important, as well as making sure that dinner gets out on a timely basis each and every day with the location and menu and ordering system ready to go. That way dinner arrives at a good time and not super, super late, because no one likes that. People are working late hours as it is, and the last thing you want to do is mess up someone's order or have the food get there at like 9 o'clock at night when everyone ate around like 1, because people aren't going to be happy. But yeah, like I said, this really is going to depend on your engagement team. None of my teams have really been super demanding, and mistakes are inevitably going to happen, and a lot of them aren't going to be on you. If you're ordering through DoorDash, Grubhub, Uber Eats, whatever, mistakes are going to happen. Delivery drivers are going to mess up. Don't sweat it. If you have someone who's unreasonable on your team with their requests, I'm sorry. My best word of advice, again, you're going to notice a common theme here, and I feel like this is one of the most important parts to being an intern, is staying organized, communicating, and making sure you're just on top of things. Because the last thing you want is it's 6 o'clock and your senior's like, hey, where's the dinner menu? And you haven't even thought about it, and no one's put their input in on where they want to eat. Now you have to ask everyone where they want to eat, and then you're going to be talking for 45 minutes about where you're going to want to eat. Next thing you know, order's being placed at 7:30, 7:45, and then the food's not getting there until 9 o'clock, and then no one's happy. So yeah, stay on top of it. Don't take it too seriously, and order that food, order those snacks, do a good job. You will be appreciated. Cool. All right, so this is probably the best part about being an intern, and I know this is not going to be universal across all firms. I know I've heard that smaller firms, or I don't even know if this is across all Big Four, or this is just mine. I know other Big Four do this as well, but that is the fact that you are going to make a lot of money, because as an intern, you get time and a half since you are hourly. So enjoy it. Don't spend it all in one place. I can tell you that busy season is easier to get through when you know that you're being paid extra for the time that you're spending there. Kind of sucks when you become a full-time associate and you know that you're not getting paid anything extra, and that the intern sitting next to you is just making bank right now while you're slaving away. But hey, if you have this opportunity, go ahead, take it. Don't spend it all in one place. As I said, be smart with your money, or not. Go ahead, you worked hard, you deserve it. And yeah, so really that's it. If you're going into an internship at a Big Four or any other public accounting firm, good luck. As I mentioned in the opening of the video, relax, be yourself. Don't take things too seriously, although do bring a good attitude and willing to work and learn and ask questions on a daily basis. And honestly, if you do all those things, everything else is going to it's going to happen for you. You're going to do a good job. And like I said, unless something crazy happens, unless you're just on the most unreasonable team ever, which I've never experienced that on any of the teams I've been on. I definitely did not experience that as an intern, and I don't even know of any teams in my office where that's the experience for interns. You're gonna be fine. Don't be too scared. Busy season, your mileage may vary, it depends on the team. I don't think it's as bad as it's made out to be. But yeah, until next time, and if anyone has any other future suggestions of content you want to see, feel free to drop it in the comments below, and I'll see what I can do. All right, bye guys.